You're listening to the Cantina Cast, your home for thought-provoking Star Wars talk. Join Albert and Chris in breaking down the latest news, trailers, movies, TV shows, games, books, and of course, your favorite characters from a galaxy far, far away.
Hello, Patreon members, and hello, Chris. How's it going, man?
All right. How are you doing?
I was running late, to be honest, and I'm a little discombobulated, but otherwise, I'm feeling pretty good, man, because, outside of Star Wars, let me just recap this. Number one, Arsenal didn't win the Champions League final, which I'm very excited about. No offense to anybody that's an Arsenal fan, but as a Liverpool fan and as a member who will be on here shortly as a United fan, we don't really care. So we're excited about that. That's number one. The Spurs won the Western Conference Finals, which I've been telling everybody since December that was going to happen. And so I've been like celebrating with family mostly and just enjoying, like, soaking all that up in. The men's team won friendly today against, I think it was Ghana, if I'm not mistaken. But so that's in the, we've got the World Cup coming up here. Mm-hmm. That's like everything that all my teams were winning this weekend, which was just a really great start. So I have no complaints. I got to see Mando and Grogu again. So my fourth time now. So it's been great, man. But I've been enjoying it. How about you?
Oh, I just had a low-key weekend. We met with the Fan Force Austin group today, and we had a good meeting out there. And other than that, it's been a low-key weekend. But you know what? It was called for. I'm grateful for it. And so now getting ready for another work week. But before, we got a show to do.
Yeah, before that, we do have a show.
Mm-hmm.
All right, how about we give some shout-outs to special folks here, and then we'll bring on our guests tonight.
Sure. We'd like to thank all our Patreon members. We'll start with our now part of the tribe members, Krista Martinelli, Will I Am, My Girl Paisley, I Got a Brad Feeling, Rita Reborn, Jacob H., Josh C., Uncle Leon, Sharkman Dan, Alejandro, Jackson Abbott, Daz Davies, Risk Bayless, Danny P., Mike Borda, Dante, a.k.a. Utini, and Kat, a.k.a. Vader's Girl. Our Delusions of Grandeur members we'd like to give a big shout out to is my guy, Now This Is Rod Racing, Rob G., Steve C., and Vanessa S. Thank you so much for your support as a Delusions of Grandeur member. Some programming notes of what the shows we have coming up here in this next week. On Tuesday, June 2nd, it's going to be another Patreon show, and we're going to review the third issue of Shadow of Maul, which is the prequel comic series to Maul Shadow Lord. So we're going to go ahead and review that third issue. It's halfway through the series. It's a 6-issue limited run, and expect a full breakdown of the comic. So look for that this Tuesday, June 2nd. Again, it's going to be a Patreon show. Then we'll go back to a public show next Sunday, June 7th, and we're going to talk about Grogu and the Force. Talk about his Force abilities, how they've grown from when we first saw him in season 1 of The Mandalorian to where he's at now, and where we could see him grow in the Force in the future. So again, that's going to be a public show on June 7th. So join us for that.
Yeah, no, that's quite a bit we still have coming up as well. Don't forget, we have a number of shows still left in addition to that one, right? The Grogu and the Force. That'll be tied to The Mandalorian and Grogu. We've given away 3 posters. I've actually mailed them off officially. I mailed them all 3 off this past week. So congratulations to our first 3 winners. And we've got at least 3 to 4 more posters to give away. So you've got more shows that we'll do to break down. We've got some other ideas we want to do to kind of celebrate The Mandalorian and Grogu. And then after that, we're just kind of in this lull. We don't really have anything, officially announced, but we certainly have a lot of ideas and things that we can do for our Patreon show. So thank you guys again. Thank you all for listening. Thank you for supporting. You guys are the reason why we do this, but I was going to say, you guys are the reason why the show's here, but most importantly, why we do this. So thank you all for your patronage. Okay. Let that out of the way. How about let's bring on our guests. So we got 2 guests tonight with us. And the first one is, again, no stranger. He's been here a number of times. He's one of our Delusions of Grandeur members, and this is Steve Kaling. Steve, welcome back, sir. How are you?
Hey, y'all. Doing great.
Yeah. Thanks for being here. Thanks for making the time. And sorry we're talking about Maul so late, but I think it was a show that I think unanimously a lot of people loved it. But thank you again for being here. Yeah.
Glad to be here.
Yeah, man. Okay. And then our other guest tonight is Daz. Daz is coming from parts unknown, and Daz, You know, buddy, I've done a lot to support you. I love you, man, but I just can't with that shirt, dude. I don't know what you were thinking putting that on, but he's for anybody that's listening to the audio, Daz has shown up wearing a Maz Kanata shirt, and you know how much I love Maz Kanata. So thank you, I think, for doing that.
I was only here because I thought it was top 3 Maz Kanata today.
Oh. You know what you should do? You should like just up your membership for like 1 month. That way you can get the free show, whatever you want to do a topic of, and then force us to do the top 3 moments of Maz Kanata. And then once you're done, you can go back to the old tier. It's totally cool, man. I understand.
3 seems like a high number for Maz, though. I don't know if you can get there.
Well, all I have to say is that the number one Maz Kanata moment is from The Last Jedi, where she goes, "Oh yes."
That was so creepy.
It was
like,
very creepy, but
like,
it
epitomizes everything that creeps me out about her is in that one line right there.
But other than the you have one, you know, the weapon, when Finn asks for a weapon, he's like, "You have one."
Yeah,
that is the memory of Maz Kanata, the moment of Maz Kanata that will always be seared into my brain.
Yeah, you have one is actually a good moment. I will give her that, right? But beyond that, not much more. Okay, enough of the of razzing there for Daz. But thank you for being here, man. Thanks for making it. So I know it's really late up there right now. So thanks for being here. Okay, or really early if you want to do that. So before we get started in our top 3 moments, so we'll do our top 3, top 2. We'll get into some honorable mentions, and then we'll do our top 1 moment. We'll do a roundtable discussion on all of those. But I want to hear from you guys just quickly on your experience with Maul Shadow Lord, and you know, I guess maybe talk a little bit about how much you enjoyed it. Maybe some of the expectations that you had going into it, if you had any, and then what expectations were met, or what did you kind of have? I guess what was your overall feeling having watched that series now? And Steve, we'll start off with you.
I think my expectations going in were that it was going to be visually a great series.
Yeah.
From everything I'd heard about, I didn't really know a whole lot about the story. I didn't read the comics going into it. And I think there was only 1 issue out though, prior to the show coming out.
Mm-hmm.
But honestly, for me, the series started kind of slow in this first 2 episodes. And I got a little bit worried about the whole thing about trying to turn Devin to be Maul's apprentice. Seemed to be just coming up over and over again.
Mm-hmm.
And I was a little bit worried, is this going to be like Saul about to say, you know, this is a story for another day from the Acolyte, where he just didn't quite get there.
Mm-hmm.
But really, once this hit episode 5, it hit light speed. The animation's incredible. Even my son walked by when I was watching it today, and he's like, "Is that live action?"
Wow.
And it looked, and I don't know if it's just me, but it even felt like the animation got better as the series went on. I don't know if that was on purpose, but it seemed so sharper and so much more detailed towards the end. I absolutely love it. I think it's one of the best things that Disney's done, Star Wars wise. All my expectations were met by the end. I liked about the characters. I cared about them.
Yeah.
I hope Lawson's his name, right? I hope that he's still around, because I really liked his character. So I by the end of it, I really loved it. And they're just like, I could do top 35 favorite moments because it was so good and so packed full of great stuff.
Yeah, it was end to end, just great from all the aspects, and we talked about it quite a bit when we were doing the show breakdowns. But 100% agree on all of that. It was, and we knew that was going to be the case, because anytime they announce a season 2 before season 1 even comes out, usually a good sign that it's going to do well, right? At least in the pre-screenings and some of the things that they do there to check it. So. But Daz, how about you? What was your experience like, and how did you feel about the show overall?
Well, I came into the show with I would say low expectations, really. Like when it was announced, it wasn't really something I was particularly looking for. But sometimes it's come into things with low expectations, not expecting anything in particular. But I was really pleasantly surprised with it. It felt like, when we from Clone Wars to Rebels and to Bad Batch, they all felt like quite similar animation types, and sort of similar ways of telling the stories. Whereas with this one, when it did start, it felt like it was something new. I think that more than more, I enjoy the new characters. I would say were a big standout for me, and one of the bigger reasons why I enjoyed it as much as I did. I really got into it. A little bit surprised when they announced the season 2 when they did, but like you say, it was a really good sign, and you can see why they were pretty sure in what they were doing.
Yeah, and I guess the other thing that I've enjoyed, Chris, I'll get your thoughts, and maybe if you guys have had a chance to either listen to the episodes or read the issues yourselves, but the comic book has actually been pleasantly surprising. Like it hasn't been as action packed as I thought it might have been, and I think they probably saved a lot of that for the TV show. It's more background, more contextual type storytelling, but I've actually enjoyed it, and I think it's because it's primarily been focused on Lawson. So there's some deep roots here, but and we'll be covering that here, issue 3 next week in a couple of days as well. But Chris, how about you? I guess did you feel the same way about the comic so far?
Yeah, no, I think it's what it's doing is it's laying a backstory to a character that they essentially, if you didn't read the comic, debuts in that series, right?
Yeah.
But for those of us that read it, it gives us a nice backstory. It kind of grounds Lawson for us, and so far so good. I've enjoyed both issues of the comic.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, well let's get into kind of our top 3 moments, and Steve, I'm going to kick it off with you. Again, this, and here's the thing real quick. I know I never give you guys I guess I never really say this disclaimer normally, but sometimes in these episodes, a moment can be like 10 minutes, and sometimes a moment can be 5 seconds or a second, right? It's totally up to you. So I don't want you guys to feel like, because the reason I'm saying all this in this episode is because it's very hard to not combine nearly everything that happens in the last episode is one moment, right? One defining moment when Darth Vader shows up. So I just want to put that out there. Don't feel like it, if you combined a lot of things, or you feel like it's like an entire episode that someone's going to say anything, it's totally fine. I totally get it, especially in the context of these episodes. So with that said, Steve, why don't you kick us off on your number 3 moment?
That's the perfect intro, because I was going to talk about how I'm going to talk about a scene setting up the moment.
Right.
And my number 2, when we get there eventually, is about 5 seconds long.
Yeah. Okay.
But it's the train fight that they have.
Oh yeah.
And it's where they said, I think it's Merrick says, "Tell me, where's Maul?" And he says, "Right here." And even right before that, we're starting to get, the scene is so great. They've got the lights going by in the background on the train. You've got the contrast of the red and blue lightsabers going in their medium, making that purple color. And we've got the double lightsaber versus what I call the helisaber that's spinning around.
Right. Yeah.
And it's just, the visuals are so great. And I don't know why, just the moment that struck me there is, I think it's where Maul says, "I'm not your enemy." And it's got his face right there. But the trains, the lights are still moving because the train's still moving.
Yeah.
And I think that's just such a great visual with those lights in the background. And I know I had said something in Discord about how this felt like Star Wars. And sometimes things that make me feel like Star Wars, those tunnels reminded me of the tunnels in Bespin, even though they're different. It's still like
the lights.
Yeah, the similar design to it, and that always helps reel me in as a fan. But just that moment where it stopped on Maul's face and those lights were still moving, and then that scene just kind of fades, where it's hard to believe it's animation. The way that train just kind of fades out in the background, it's just a beautiful scene, and a lot of fun.
Yeah,
there's so much moving going on. It's great.
There is. That's like. And this is not a good comparison, but sometimes when you play like really advanced like fighting games or video games where you've got a lot of dimensions and stuff moving around, it's, and that yet you're still having to focus on kind of the main characters right on screen. It was similar to that to me. There was just a lot, like you said, it was very busy, a lot of stuff going on, but nothing was distracting. Everything felt natural about it all, right? So it was, again, kudos to the animation crew and team for all of that. Okay, Daz, how about you? What's your number 3?
I have exactly the same one.
Really?
It was the train scene for me as well.
Okay.
Yeah. So everything that Steve said, the one thing I would add is I don't know, but I kind of got like a bit of Tron vibes, the like modern Tron movie.
Yeah.
And which is funny really, because I kind of feel like the design on Marek is kind of a Tron type similar
I can see that
design.
I can see that.
So yeah, kind of. And with things in the background, I kind of got that sort of neon against black imagery, which I really liked. And yeah, the way that scene closes out as well, where more so you've seen the face of your true enemy, and like he's talking about the Inquisitor but the first thing that you see is like it kind of hone in on Maul himself, his actual face, and you think, oh, I think that's really a way of like putting that bit of speech again we're seeing visually, and perhaps like that is the scene right at the end of the series, depending on how this all shakes down in the end.
We talked about the churning of Devon and how it was progressive over time. It wasn't just a one type thing. There was kind of like that catalytic moment, of course, when Docky dies. But up to that, there were moments like this and other little things that he said and did that really started to kind of seed that doubt that was in her mind and kind of push her slowly into crossing over. And this is a great moment where he was able to use somebody like Marok and say, look, this is the enemy. This is why we need to be combining forces and eventually, turn over to the dark side because light side sucks. Look what happened to you guys, right? You're all gone. Mm-hmm. And, this is the only thing that's going to bring you guys back or keep you alive. But yeah, this was a great scene to kind of reinforce his point and give him some backup to some of the things that he would say and do later on in some of the episodes as well. So great moment. Very cool that you guys both picked that as number 3. Chris, how about you? What's your number 3 moment?
So my number 3 moment is not the train scene, although it was an amazing moment.
Yeah.
My number 3 moment is Devon and her speeder chase, and where she commandeers that speeder, and these 2 big alien guys are like going to get ready to confront her. Little did they know she's a Jedi and dispatches them off camera,
right?
And then takes it off. And what was cool about it, I mean, the chase itself was very not really long. It was brief, but I love that music that they had playing in the background.
Mm-hmm.
It was very Daft Punk, EDM type music, similar to Shikari that we have in The Mandalorian. Not similar, but like as far as how it sounds, but the same type of music. So that was my number 3 moment. I thought seeing her, maneuver that and that chase, and then the soundtrack on top of that made it a great moment for me.
Yeah, there was a lot of great chase scenes in this, whether it was on foot or vehicles. We talked about some of the similarities that we saw with this series and The Dark Knight. And not only just in the tone and the theme, everything from the bank heist at the very beginning of both the movie and the show, but even like this scene here too, when some of the scenes when they were down in the tunnels and how that really kind of brought to life that Gotham look, that Chicago look. But yeah, so a lot of similarities there. So some really good stuff. Cool. All right. So my number 3, and I went back and forth on this quite a bit. And I'm probably going to make a game decision right now because I'm looking at this and going, I don't know if this is really okay. So my number 3 moment, I think, is Lawson's death, and not because it was anything. I mean, it was heroic. Him kind of wandering off and kind of making sure that everybody else could get away. But I think it's something that a lot of people have continued to talk about. In fact, I mean, Steve brought it up here at the beginning of the show before we came on, or maybe while it was on. Sorry. But just his impact on this story and how much I've really enjoyed that character personally, again, mostly through the comic book, although there are a lot of moments that we have with him in the television series. His relationship, with Riley, just his kind of calm demeanor, his background, this idea that he was a bounty hunter and now he's working for kind of law enforcement. He's a really great character, very deep character, a lot of different, dimensions to him. And so, to think that he would be gone would be really shocking, honestly. And I don't think he is gone. I'll restate what we said on the show. He definitely saw what happened between Docky and Maul. I think that's going to come back a little bit later. How we get there, I don't know. But I think he has a role to play in season 2. So, the fact that I just like the way that he kind of walked off into the mist and it was left up to the audience to determine whether or not he would be alive or dead. Coupled with the fact that I've loved his background and the character itself.
Right.
So, but do
you think Rook is dead for sure too?
I think Rook is definitely dead, but that's only because of what's her name? What's the voice actress that does her?
Vanessa Marshall.
Yeah. I don't know if you heard, Steve, but she had mentioned that I forget the exact quote, but essentially that Maul or Vader crushed like her innards within like the suit.
Okay.
And so I was like, oh, okay, well, if there was any doubt, I mean, she she's just a voice actress, you know, so I'm sure that wasn't written in the script, but that was in her mind. So a lot of times they tend to be a lot closer.
Hey, everyone. You've been listening to a preview of this Patreon exclusive episode. If you'd like to hear the full episode, as well as a huge back catalog of other Patreon exclusive material, head on over to patreon.com/CantinaCast and sign up for the We Are All the Republic tier at just $2 a month. That'll get you all of the audio episodes, or if video is your thing, please consider the This Is the Way tier at just $5 a month. There's also 2 higher tiers in Now Part of the Tribe and Delusions of Grandeur, which gets you a shout out at the start of every show, your name in the credits at the end, and more. Thank you so much to all of our Patreon members and all of our supporters, and may the Force be with you always.
You're still listening? Wow, that's amazing. Well, I'm here to give you the disclaimer. Normally we do a big, long, drawn-out disclaimer thing saying what's what and who's what and all that other stuff, but I think you guys kind of know that Lucasfilm and Disney have no affiliation with us at all, and we have none with them. We talk about Star Wars, which is their property, and all that other good, fun stuff, but I think you can tell which is our stuff and which is their stuff. If you can't, well, then send a lawyer to send an email to me, and I'll be glad to chat with them. Other than that, you know what's what, so that's your disclaimer.